Right. I think we're on. Yeah, we're on. Week 10.
Oh,
We're back.
there's a
We're
show?
in double
Oh my god.
digits. We're doing a show, guys. We're doing a show. Hey, yeah, focus.
And I've been here for a week.
Just been waiting for it to start. Oh, man. So week 10, we're into the double digits now. The home, I don't know if you want to call it the home stretch yet. It's sort of like the midway point of the season.
Home stretch for
But yeah,
fantasy.
it's the home stretch of fantasy.
Oh,
There's only 4 or 5 weeks left. So if you're sitting there at 2-3 wins, you got some work to do. Unless you're in a league like ours, everyone's still in it. Unless you're in a league like ours, you're probably out of it. You can start packing it in and just spoil seasons. But with us, where everyone's like 500 or you only have one team over 500, it seems like anything can happen. So hey, I won last week.
Hey!
Hey! The host is back. The host is back. And yeah, so there's no complaining this week. I'm happy. I'm happy. So it was a good week in fantasy football. These things happen, You're the thing is that what's ridiculous about my team, and I think I've said this on here before, and I just want to get your guys' reaction to it. If you look at it, I have the highest scoring fantasy team in our league by like a long shot. Like it's a good 50 points down to the next person. I mean, I think I might be the only team over 1,000 so far through 9 weeks, or I'm pretty close to it. But then if you go over to the points against, I also lead the category in points against by a wide margin, like more than 100 points compared to the next person in terms of points against. It's absolutely ridiculous. So literally, if I don't even know. It's just people they want to bring out their best against someone smart at fantasy football, I guess, like myself. So they feel like they gotta put up some extra points, like 180 points or something like that.
Well, I begged you to do a rotisserie style like points only league, like top 6 in points go to the playoffs.
Oh,
no interest.
I'd be killing it.
Not even like a polite no. It was just more like.
Oh, absolutely not.
Disgusted by the idea.
Maybe next year.
And now I hear complaining.
Yeah, what can we say? But so I guess to jump into headlines, the big one I think this week, other than Cowboys using a rather unfortunate hashtag, in terms of fantasy football, is Adrian Peterson. Not back yet. He did plead guilty, he pleaded no contest. Had his charge reduced from a felony count to a misdemeanor, facts of the case aside. It's possible they're sitting on a bye right now. It's possible he's back for their next game. So that's big story to keep in mind. Some people might have stashed him on their rosters. Others, I know he was available in our league until the waiver claims went through this week. So if he's sitting there, he might be available in some leagues. So ethically and morally, if you can bring yourself to do it, that's a team that's sort of borderline good right now, and they get him back. In a sort of up for grabs NFC North, they're going to lean on him, and his teammates already said they'd obviously welcome him back with open arms. So Adrian Peterson could be back. I know none of us here grabbed him, but what are you guys? What's your all's opinion on him being able to be claimed in a lot of leagues?
Yeah, I think I think you kind of have to separate your own personal feelings from fantasy football, especially if you do have money on the line. I know I don't like a lot of New England Patriots players. I think if it wasn't for the Patriots, then the Steelers would have like 7 more Super Bowl titles. So I hate. They say Baltimore's our rival. New England's my rival. I'll still remember whenever playoff game and Cordell Stewart threw like 2 interceptions, and that's the year they actually end up winning it all. But I draft them and I put them on my team to spite them. Well, hey, if you're going to do good, Gronkowski, then you're going to do good for me, okay? And if you're going to do bad, then I'll just laugh at you guys in your ineptitude. So, I mean, if anything, take him, put him on your bench, see him. The only thing I'm concerned about, is he going to get like time served? Is he going to say like, oh yeah, you're suspended?
That's what the NFL has been sort of mum on it so far, but that's what it seems like. I mean, if you consider all the time he's already missed, it's 8 weeks. I know it was a paid suspension or he was on that exempt list, but he's been out of the league for half a season. So I mean, and it's a misdemeanor charge, which if there's not much precedent, but if you go back. Players that have been convicted or have charged with a misdemeanor, it's like a 2 to 4 week thing. So this is already double, quadruple what some guys that have had lesser charges have been through. So it would be hard for, I think, Goodell to keep him out.
Don't be so sure. It was a team decision, not a league decision. That's different.
Yeah, but still, you got to consider the time that he has or hasn't served, depending on how you look at it. It's his time off because of what he did,
right.
And
fact that you're saying it's a team decision, Mark. The fact that he was put on a commissioner's exempt list, I think that's sort of it's a team decision, but also Goodell had to place him on that list to accept him to be put on that exemption list. So I'd argue that it was both.
The problem is
parties played a role there.
They're like 5 weeks removed from PR hell, just like the worst run of bad timing in public relations I've ever seen in my life. And their solution to get out of it was to just kind of do nothing and wait for it to blow over. Why would they invite that on themselves again?
I think perfect scenario for everyone would have been this thing to go to trial or something and get pushed off, a decision like this pushed off until after the season, but it's here.
And everyone can forget about it. Yeah.
Exactly.
They're just going to nudge them on that exempt list for the rest of the season. I don't think they're going to poke the bear.
I think Ray Rice is a better chance. I mean, talent removed, if you just say which ones would play sooner, I think Ray Rice has a better chance of getting reinstated.
I agree.
And Adrian Peterson, so.
And that's because they just screwed him procedurally.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they said, hey, 2 games. Nope, we're just kidding. Like 8 games or indefinitely suspended. So I think he has some merit there to try to get back in the league. I don't think Adrian Peterson, especially because he's been on that paid leave, has any real punishment. What's the punishment? He's got to miss games and get paid still?
Yeah, that sounds like hell.
You can make that argument. But with Rice, though, the thing is, after his situation, he's not on a team anymore. So someone's actually going to have... Adrian is on the Vikings. All the Vikings have to do is reinstate him. If the NFL reinstates Rice after this appeal, someone's going to have to actively go out and pursue him to come to their team and bring that on themselves. So who's going to want to do that?
Minnesota should sign Rice and then quietly reinstate him.
Imagine that back. Holy hell. Yada Asiata, I'm sorry.
Another thing to remember, though, is he in shape to come back mid-season? I mean, it's
Rice
one thing if you're having an injury, but he's sitting there awaiting trial for like child abuse. Do you think he's like running up hills with tires chained to him?
Yeah, my guess is Peterson has always been a workhorse. He knows he's going to come back to work at some point. My guess is he's hitting the gym super hard. I'm seriously.
No, I'm looking there.
I think Mark... He's just sitting at home like Ben and Jerry.
Yeah, right. What do you think?
Sorry, Mark. He's not eating like six Crunch Wraps and sitting there. Oh man. Anyway, so outside of that, I guess we have the Dallas UK or Dallas Suck that we could talk about. They brought all that on themselves, so I think they've heard enough of it this week. Unless anyone wants to have fun with that one for a second. But so just some other injuries to keep in mind from last week. So we got the big one, I guess you could call it the big one, is Foles going down with a broken collarbone.
Nobody calls that the big one. Nobody calls that the big one.
In my mind, it's the big one, and this is my show, so it's the big one. So he went down with a broken collarbone. No surgery is expected, but 6 to 8 weeks. So the Sanchez comes in. So the Sanchez.
A butt fumble.
Oh my God!
I can't tell you. I was talking to Seth earlier the week about the Sanchez and how excited I am.
I am too.
He said he was rooting for him. He's like, yeah, man, I'm rooting for him. I was like, you're rooting for him? He's like, yeah, because if he comes in and he just does something stupid, like equal or worse than the butt fumble, it's going to be amazing. And then also, if he throws like 3 touchdowns, it's going to be – I was like, dude, that doesn't seem like you're rooting for him. It seems like you're like just putting him on – like, I don't even know, putting him on a pedestal and like laughing at him. Like,
my point about him is he is the most exciting player in the NFL because you can get either of those swings. You can get something good, which is good for Eagles fans or something all horribly hilarious.
It's
So
a spectacle.
he is the anti-Foles because Foles has been serviceable, but he is so boring. If you've seen any of those night games or primetime games of Foles or any of the games that he's played, man, the Eagles are boring to watch. Sanchez is the shot in the arm that the Eagles need.
Because you know at any moment he could get hit in the face by a butt.
I can't wait.
The actual football thing about him though is he's such a more mobile quarterback than Foles. So he brings he's no Michael Vick, but he brings that kind of dynamic where he can get out of the pocket and potentially run into someone's rear end, or
Right.
actually make some good decent gains for the team and put them in a position to do well. So it like you said, it literally could go. He's going to do something stupid.
And plus, if he does well, there's this angle too. If he does well, it somehow makes the Jets look like an even worse organization. That's awesome.
The thing is, listen, I've seen Foles' jersey after many, many Eagles games, and whoever's doing the laundry deserves to get bonus because that jersey is messed up. Okay, it's got stains everywhere, and I'm not. Maybe Sanchez with the Patriots line or the Colts line or even the Steelers. As crazy as it sounds, even the Steelers lines, but with that Eagles banged up line, you're going to get more of the bad Foles than you or the bad Sanchez rather than the good Sanchez.
We'll see. I know they lost Herman's now with his bicep, but they're getting what's his name back? They're getting they got their center back and they got their right guard back. So it's been a hodgepodge. Don't get me wrong, but Kelsey. But it's just been a mix, so it's interesting to watch. So we'll see. So did everyone else freeze, or is this me?
No, I'm enjoying this. I'm just sitting back and listening to the rationalization.
That's back. He's back.
There's been so many times I've been watching Foles play, and I've been like, oh, season-ending injury. Like he just gets slammed and crushed to the ground so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not big. He's not like Ben Roethlisberger is a truck and can take hits. He's a little twig man.
All right. So enough of Foles. I'm tired of the bashing on him and Sanchez. But so let's just quickly run through the rest of the injuries. Arian Foster, groin. They're hum on what he's going to be. It could be a minor issue. Houston's on a bye, so has an extra week to rest. Just in case, Alfred Blue might be available as a handcuff in your league. I have him, so I'm good there. Wes Welker took a weird shot to the back last week and is going to be out. I didn't see an exact time frame on that, but probably going to be a little while, and there's so many other weapons in that offense. So, they're probably all taken at this point. Lamar Miller, AC joint sprain day-to-day, and other sort of, this is not big news at all, but Josh McCown is coming in for Mike Glennon. So if you're in desperate need and you want to take a chance on the clown, go for it.
I'm actually ticked off about that because I was starting to like Mike Evans, and now you throw a whole new wrench into this.
I know, right?
Glennon to Evans, that was going to win you 2 games a year.
Yeah.
Now in the Jackson, that's like one win.
Sammy Watkins pulled his groin earlier today at practice, so he's questionable. Watch out for him. Who's having a quietly Rookie of the Year? I mean, we're over halfway. Rookie of the Year, Sammy Watkins. Can you think of anyone else?
The only other one that could down the stretch, depending on how he progresses, is I know Jordan Matthews was another name. Watkins has been you shut your mouth. I know it's an Eagle.
Sanchez throwing goals.
I know it's an Eagle, but if he, even if he has games like that again, Sammy Watkins is the big name, but Jordan Matthews has put up numbers, so consider that.
Don't forget like Bridgewater or somebody.
Yeah, Bridgewater too. So,
don't forget Johnny.
Johnny. We'll see about that. All right, I'm tired of talking. So who's taking right and wrong first?
I'll go. This is my 1-point victory couldn't have come at a sweeter time. This is when the wins really matter, and I won by 1 point thanks to T.Y. Hilton his incredible catch on Monday night.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that? Anyone see that?
It was
That
nuts.
was ridiculous. He's awesome. He was great. What went wrong was Juwan Thompson, who I hadn't heard of until last week, until ESPN suggested I pick him up for Denver. I didn't have any faith in him, and it turns out I was right. He scored 0 points, and he was projected like 10. That's where things went wrong, but fortunately, not too wrong, and I got the win. So it was good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Seth?
I'll go next. Mark Ingram continues to surprise me. I know he had his big blowout game against the Panthers. I'm sorry, not against the Panthers, against Green Bay. And that was my bold prediction. I kind of saw it coming, but I didn't necessarily think he could repeat another 100-yard game. I think 2 touchdowns. So that definitely went right for me. I'm having troubles at the quarterback issue. I'm constantly throwing up like 100 and some points, but my quarterbacks haven't been too great. 4 points from Jay Cutler was on bye, but 4 points from an Austin Davis, and I think Jay Cutler 2 weeks ago put up like 4 points or something like that too. So
yeah, and you still managed to put up 180.
Yeah. So that's what went right and wrong.
Gotcha. I'll go. So what went right? 139 points this week. So back-to-back, almost 140-point performances. I'll consider that to be a Ben Roethlisberger-like fantasy performance for my team. Peyton Manning, Arian Foster, even though he went down in the third quarter, 20 points. Jeremy Maclin, man, back-to-back 30-point games, looking great, even though he had Sanchez throwing to him for the second half, or pretty much the last 3 quarters. Odell Beckham continues to, step in for Victor Cruz going down, and the big one for me, and this was, Mark, we were both on board with this last week.
Golf clap for you guys. Very good.
Called it. The Dolphins, man, they absolutely demolished San Diego. So 37-0 shutout, and I mean the Dolphins had pick after pick. I think they had a defensive touchdown in there. It was glorious. So that vaulted the Dolphins into the top spot in terms of scoring defenses, fantasy-wise. So I know they have what looks to be a tricky matchup against the Lions this week, but I'll save talking about that until a little later. But yeah, the only thing I could say that really went wrong for me, other than Gore continuing to not perform, is that Julian Edelman was on my bench, and he's been sort of all over the place this year. He's had some good performances, a few double-digit performances, but then when he does not get targeted or is not a part of the offense for a week, I mean, it really hurts. Less than 5 points in 5 out of their 9 games so far. So it's been weird with him. So, or I'm sorry, 4 out of their 9 games. So it's been weird, but when he's on, he's on. So that's my team. Mark, how about you?
Well, I won, and it's mostly because my boys showed up. My team is extremely thin. I have no depth at running back, so really there's no lineup decisions. My only fringy choice was to start Mike Evans in the flex, and that worked out splendidly. But really, I'm just buoyed by wide receivers in their week-to-week variance. Antonio Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans all got 100 plus 1 or more touchdowns, and in my book, that is acceptable production for the position.
All right.
All business today.
Thanks,
Gee.
Coach.
All business.
Coach. Cool. So, I mean, again, do we have to discuss the MVP of last week? Obviously, Roethlisberger, another 6 touchdown performance. I think he had put up 40 points in our league this week. And I'm not even going to mention mine because I'm not going to get laughed at again. But I'll let someone else go and talk about MVPs before I go.
Don't tell me Sanchez. Is it really Sanchez?
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
So,
Probably Macklin.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. You know what? It is. It is. Because if you're going to have, Roethlisberger obviously got talked about 6 back-to-back 6 TD performances. Macklin, I mean, he had 2 back-to-back games that were pretty impressive for a wide receiver, throwing up 2 touchdowns in each game, 150-some yards, 30-some point fantasy production. So, incredible stretch for him. So, he's got to get his due. I don't think he's been mentioned as a fantasy MVP on this week yet, so why not?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like if you were drafting right now, where would you choose Macklin as a wide receiver? Like, what do you say? Top 5, top 10? I mean,
Absolutely.
top
For wide
5?
receiver.
I'd give him top
Whoa, whoa,
5.
whoa.
What's he at right now?
Top 5 overall or top 5 wide receiver?
Top 5 wide receiver.
Oh, top 5 wide receiver for sure. Yeah.
Top
I
5.
wasn't saying top. I was not saying top 5 overall.
Yeah, tap the brakes there a little bit.
And pump the
No.
brakes.
This is not a Nick Foles top 12 first round draft pick type situation.
I got one that doesn't involve our respective teams.
Go for it.
All right, and this is, all right, I'll just say it, Matt Asiata. And this is purely from the perspective, he has 3 touchdowns.
Vulture.
If you're starting him, you have issues. Either you don't know what you're doing setting a lineup, or you have no other option. So once again, fantasy gods stroll on in and bail you out with 3 touchdowns. That's MVP in my book.
I think
in case you were wondering, Macklin is 3rd for his position right now.
Yeah. Yep.
3rd. I think you could go. I think you could probably pencil him in every single week. But again, Andrew Luck. I mean, I was going against Luck this week, and I was lucky that he didn't have even more points. But he still put up a 34 point job. I mean, I think it's an NFL record of like 8 games in a row, over 300 yards. I mean, he is just a monster. And I was like watching ESPN, and they were talking about him, and somebody they were apologizing for having for how much love like the whole entire company has given him. But like I don't know why you can't. He's like 3rd year in the league, and he's on pace to break or come close to breaking Peyton Manning's season yards for a season. So the sky's the limit for him. So
yeah, he's incredible. It doesn't help or it doesn't hurt. I mean, it hurts them as a team per se, but it doesn't hurt him in the way that they don't have a running game. So he's like forced to throw. He'll throw it. They have no problem throwing it 50 times a game, and that's just what they got to do to move the ball.
Yep.
So that definitely benefits him. Is that everyone for MVPs of last week?
My apologies to DeMarco Murray. Got to take the title away from you. The streak is over.
Something had to break in that matchup.
79 yards. So close. So close.
So close.
Kind of close. 80%, 79%.
Oh man! So looking to next week, I mean, who you guys got for who's gonna light up the scoreboard in fantasy?
All right, I'll let someone else go. I've led enough.
I don't even know anymore. This league. It's crazy.
This
league, I don't know from one week to another. The only thing that's a sure thing are the Patriots, and they're on a bye. So I can't even say the Patriots.
Look out for Matt Forte coming off a bye at Green Bay. It's a huge game in the division, and they always get up to play them. I don't know if it's going to be close. I hope it's going to be close because I love Chicago. I think they have some amazing weapons, and I think they should be better than what they are. So I think maybe they needed a bye and they turned the season around. But look for Forte. Not to be surprised. I think he has 20 points in the last 4 games. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean 18 points, 18 or more points in the last 5 games. So he's definitely a stud. So
it's good. This is boring, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ben put up 6 more TDs this week.
I would be very surprised.
No, I know it's highly unlikely, and I know that being you guys from Pittsburgh, and I know having lived there for 4 years, they love to play down.
yeah.
They do. But if there is a situation, and I don't want to, this is like I guess if you want to knock on wood, go for it, because I'm going to do it. But if there's a situation for him to excel and going into the game knowing he can excel, it's this game. The Jets are just god awful on defense, absolute worst in the league in terms of their corners and safety play. They're dead last in almost every category of passing defense. They're giving up 24 touchdowns, which is 6 more than the next closest team. The quarterback rating against is dead last. I think it's like in the 1 teens. It's like 112 point something. which is like a good 10 points more than the next closest team. And fantasy points-wise, they're giving up 22 points per game to opposing quarterbacks, which is by far the worst in the league. So everything, it's like you say, it's a situation where it's easy for the team to look, go into it on paper looking great, and just underperform like they'd like to do. But I don't know. It just smells like a great performance for him. I'm not gonna, six TDs. That would be. I know it is. Yeah. It is, but
the exact opposite.
I know. It should be. It should.
All right.
It should be.
Smells like a trap.
I might as well start talking now. I must be a sick person. I really like Michael Vick in this game. I can't help myself.
No,
I'm in a bind in one of my leagues because my team is Luck and Luck alone essentially, and now Luck's on the bye. So my QB options are Dalton, Vick, or Tannehill, and I have to pick one of the three to march out there.
Tannehill.
I love Tannehill, but he's on the road. The lure of Vick.
Can you sit there on Sunday and root for Vic?
No, I don't have to root for him, but it's a team. I follow a team that I know is going to let me down, and I've been talking about this game for weeks.
Big game.
Kept saying they're going to be Indy, they're going to be Baltimore, they're going to lose to the Jets.
Big
and
game.
Now that over here, I don't know if I feel that way anymore, and that's what they want me to think. They want me to think everything's okay. Then
it's not okay, Mark.
No, it's not. You know what I'm talking about.
I think Percy Harvin has a monster game too. Like he could be MVP. Like we could be sitting here next week and say Percy Harvin, who got traded from the Seahawks, is the MVP of this week. He could easily put up 40 points on us. We're on our like third string corner. Like Cortez Allen, was so bad that we were like, okay, you who've never played before, you get in there. I mean, and they did a great job against the Baltimore wide receivers. Don't get me wrong. The pressure was there and everything. I think that I don't know. I think old Rex Ryan's, competing for a job every game means a lot to him.
Well,
coming off.
Let's be real though. At this point, he's out. There's no way.
I don't think that's a given yet.
I don't know if it is either. I don't know. I feel like it might not be.
This feels like Andy Reid coming off of an 8-8 season. It's sort of you gotta improve or go home, and now they're sitting there at 1-7.
They're 1-8. They can go 3-13. I think he keeps his job. He has a good reputation. They're playing hard, and there's no talent.
I know Isaac falls on the sword, but
he'll try to fire Ryan, but I think he gets fired. But oh god, you know what the line started out? Pittsburgh. Yeah, you heard this. Don't ruin my fun.
Okay.
Guess the line.
I know it, so I'm not gonna say it.
Well,
I don't. It's gotta be Pittsburgh's got to be favored by 9 points.
It opened at 2.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I almost had a heart attack.
And now it's
Sure, it wasn't the Taco Bell mark.
It's currently 4, right?
Something in that range. Pittsburgh is one of the most widely known teams. So all the gambling addicts that don't rely on information to place their wagers will either pick Pittsburgh, Dallas, or Denver or somebody like that. Mm-hmm. You already get inflated points because of that, and also they just came off of 2 straight 6-touchdown games against playoff teams. What am I missing?
2?
2 points.
They gave points.
It's got to be at Jets, right? But
it is.
Even that.
It is, but even still, that means on neutral ground.
5. The Steelers would be up 5. Not even a touchdown.
No.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Jets, man. I'm taking the Jets with the points.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm not willing to pick the Jets, but oh man, that's where I'm leaning. That's what my brain tells me.
It's nuts. Well, you sort of dissected it already, but do you want to dive into it in terms of matchups? Maybe you're not looking forward to it, but
I'll jump into one that I love. Saints at home against San Francisco. San Francisco, I think that's a team that's in a worse downward spiral than the Jets because I think they have some serious internal problems. I think they have Harbaugh problems. I think Kaepernick is starting to really get discouraged.
Yeah, they have a QB problem. He's the problem with the team.
Yes. Yeah.
It was masked to start the year. It seemed like they were going to be fine. Everything was going to be fine in San Francisco. These last few weeks, man, it really is. It's like a tailwind. It's crazy. They are just spiraling out of control.
Yeah, and I think Kaepernick is kind of like a Cam Newton type that if things aren't going well, like
they're really bad,
really downhill. Yeah.
That's crazy. One that I'm looking to just. Two matchups that I'm looking forward to in terms of an offense going up against a defense. One is Denver. I think they're at Oakland this week. That is, you're going to do it anyway, but Denver's offense is just. I feel like they're going to obliterate Oakland.
Oakland's scrappy. Oakland is scrappy.
I know they are. But not against this team. Peyton, in his history in the league and going up against Oakland, has just absolutely dominated that team.
Really?
They could be scrappy. Yeah.
Can I have
some
history? Can I have some stats?
I'll dig them out. That's fine. But as I'm going through it, I'll dig it out. But so that.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to throw you under the bus, but I was skeptical of that statement.
Peyton.
You don't have them ready? I thought you had them ready, Mark.
I didn't have them ready. I looked them up earlier, and I didn't.
Thought Mark had them ready.
No, I was actually curious.
Okay, well, while you're looking up, what do you guys think of Dallas, Jacksonville?
Yes, I want to talk about it. Down. All right, it depends on who plays quarterback. Right now, Dallas is favored by a touchdown.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
If it switches to Whedon, Jacksonville should be favored by a touchdown. Like Jacksonville has to be a sizable favorite if there's no Roma.
I don't know. See, with a Roma with a fractured spine, I think that's the same as Whedon. I don't think they have any advantage depending.
Okay, so let's make Jacksonville a favorite.
I don't know. I think I like Jacksonville in this.
I do too.
Dallas is a good team. Get the hell out of here.
Dallas is a good team, but Romo is banged up. Really bad. He's got 2 fractured vertebrae.
Okay, well, no.
We're talking about him playing.
I think Whedon is comparable enough of a quarterback to come in there and lead a win against the Jags.
The Jags aren't as bad as everyone thinks. They're bad, but I think they're better than their record suggests.
They have some. They can do some damage. They have a good pass rush.
I don't know if
I'm good when you're either Brandon Whedon or injured.
I don't know if I like Dallas plus a touchdown, but Dallas gets the win by at least 4 points.
All right, you ready for this?
Okay, let's hear it.
So Peyton he started his career. He did not start his career very well against Oakland, so he was 0-2 to start his career. Since then, he's rattled off 7 straight wins. He's thrown 23 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, a 105.4 rating, 70% completion percentage, which is the 3rd highest against any single team. 2,500 yards against them in 9 games, and the 4th highest, it looks like, yards per completion. So I don't know. Run through any similar stats of him. He's dominated them.
See, that's good. That's defensible.
That's a pretty weak argument.
I will say.
I like him at Oakland. So there's that. The other one, and this one, I get into it with me if you want, but the Panthers, Monday Night Football at Philly with the struggling defense. I know there's quarterback overturn. I like an offense that puts up 30 points a game going up against the defense. Going up against the defense that is not doing well. And the only thing that I think could potentially make the Panthers show up a little bit in this matchup in particular is Sean McDermott, their defensive coordinator, coming home essentially to face a team that he took over for Jim Johnson as defensive coordinator. So I'm sure it's a little more emotional for him. But I don't know. It's another situation. You guys hate looking it on paper, but apparently, it's one where it should lay heavily in favor of the Eagles.
Yeah, I think the Panthers are a terrible team. I think they're horrible.
They got so many missing parts on defense. It's just a lot right now.
Cam Newton is having like the worst season of his career. He's horrible.
He sucks.
Yeah.
If Shady's if Shady's okay, does it look like he's going to go? It says he's
I would think.
questionable here.
I sure
I
hope
would
so.
think that- yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what his
If-
injury is.
If McCoy's ready to go, look for him to put up like a 25, 30-point game. This is the same Carolina team that at home let Garrett Blunt and Le'Veon Bell run all over them. So
Yeah.
new quarterback relying heavily on the old workhorse McCoy.
McCoy owners have been waiting for that all season.
It's
You know-
coming, boys. Mark it down. 30.
How many touchdowns he have? You?
Something like that. Yeah, it's
Two
crazy.
touchdowns for the season?
They're rushing, right?
It's a bust. It's a Doug Martin-esque bust.
He's a bust.
Whoa,
All right.
whoa, that's harsh.
I hate to be that guy, but there's only a few truisms in like the annals of sports, and one is the best remedy for struggling defense is Mark Sanchez. And I'm not disregard Carolina offhand. Just because they have Sanchez, I think it's worth considering that Carolina might win that game.
Flip a coin. You don't know what you're going to get
We
with
might
it.
as well, but I do think Carolina wins. Why not?
McCoy drops 30, close to 30, 25 to 30.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a matchup out here with two teams that I just don't know what to make of them. Chiefs at Buffalo.
Ooh, good game.
What do you
It's a
make
tough
of
one.
those
That's going to be a
teams?
good one.
Are they
gonna be a good-
mediocre teams? Are they bad teams? I don't.
Good. I think the
They're
Chiefs
good teams. Both of those teams are
No,
good.
just the Chiefs.
Let me throw a crazy stat at you, courtesy of ESPN, about the Chiefs, about the Kansas City Chiefs. They're the only team in the league that do not have a receiving touchdown to a wide receiver. They have 0 touchdowns to wide receivers this year. That's the craziest stat I've ever heard.
The receivers.
Week 10.
How do they score their points? Tight ends and running backs?
Yeah.
Alex Smith has like 10 touchdowns in the last like 7 games. So
They're
I don't know.
all Charles.
It's all the Charles.
What's a crazy stat? I hope they go the whole season. Well, not one wide receiver has 1 touchdown. Amazing.
That's unbelievable.
I got a couple good ones, and these are fun.
Let's
I
hear it.
think St. Louis not only plays well against Arizona, but beats them on the road. And I guess the rationale behind that is Arizona's like the luckiest team I've ever seen in my life, and now it's time.
No way, they're a good team.
They're good. They're good. They're not this good.
Yeah, they're good. They're not this good. That record is a little.
Once you start to drift away from the pack like this, something strange happens and you lose. This is
They're
like
not. It's like they're not Patriots good, but I think they're Denver good. I think they're better than Seattle.
they're a sturdy playoff team, but you don't just roll through all these games. They're gonna trip up.
Yeah.
And also,
Chiefs of last year.
Another just matchup to throw out there. This was one I said I was going to talk about. Miami going up to Detroit.
this is a fun game.
It is. I don't know what to make of it. Their defense has been just absolutely. It's a bunch of really no names that have just excelled beyond belief and made them one of the better defenses in the league at this point, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
going
Philbin's not known as a defensive coach, though,
which
right?
is crazy.
He's
I mean, it's they've been really, sort of just impressing people. I mean, I don't know what other way to put it. It's been crazy, but the thing is with Detroit though, they should get Calvin back. They might get Bush back. So is
Calvin definitely coming back this week?
It's up in the air. It's up in the air. It's probably going to be a game time thing. I wouldn't be surprised. I would like to, as a Miami defense owner, I would like to see them sit Calvin for one more week. But
And Golden Tate has stepped in his place. I mean, he's
done well. So it's going to be interesting. Looking at Miami's last couple of road games, they haven't given up more than I think 14 points in their last 3 road games, and they've been against good teams. There was one I think in there against like the Jacksonville, which obviously not a good team, but they've done well. They started the year struggling on the road, gave up some high 20s, low 30 points, but they've really, I don't know if they're something changing what they're doing in practice or whatnot, but much improved defense, and I think I don't want to go into bold predictions yet because I know we didn't get through all the matchups, but I wouldn't be surprised if they really shut down Matthew Stafford and that Lions offense.
Rob, I like the way you think. I think Detroit, it's an easy trap to fall into, but I think they're a bad team in a good team disguise. I think
I always feel you got to always feel that way about them, though.
They're very, very quietly.
No.
They're very quietly not good.
I'm completely opposite direction with them. I think they're quietly a good team. I think they're a very good team.
Yeah, me too, Max. I'm with you. These two jokers are crazy.
Yeah, they're good.
I'm not gonna say.
No, I think it turns.
President Garland, you slighted that Rob didn't mention anyone else from Detroit that Miami's defense should be worried about? Bush, Stafford, Johnson, Golden Tate.
Well, I know you're referring to. I don't like him this week. I think
you don't. The president. The president of the fan club, CEO of the Joint Bell fan club.
Well, he's a stretch this week, I would say.
You also have to. The bye week is a valuable asset, and they're going to be fresh and rested.
Yep.
No, just you watch. Detroit is like San Diego 2 weeks. Like they're 2 weeks behind San Diego, where they look like a sturdy, good team that's going to do some damage in the playoffs. But they're sneakily bad and poorly coached, and they're just going to unravel.
I think
the playoffs 8-8.
I think Miami is the team that's now. We just had an amazing defense against two really good teams. Let's throw them in there again, and they get like 30 points dropped on them by the Lions.
No, they're good and tough, and they can punch Detroit in the mouth. I think they win that.
It's not just 2 games though, Seth. I mean, they're creating turnovers all year long.
I know they lost to Buffalo. They lost some pretty bad games.
They lost to Buffalo and they lost to Kansas City. And
that's it.
There might be one more there.
There is one more. No, yeah, they lost by like a point or something.
Green Bay, yeah, 24-27 at home. Which if you remember, that was a fluke game. That was a game they were dominating. Green Bay had to come back. So it's not like, this is a team that is holding good offenses to fairly low scores. I mean, Green Bay you don't know what happened those last few minutes, but Green Bay did make a pretty tremendous comeback. And, they're creating, what do they have, 3, 6, 7, 8 interceptions over their last 5 games, forcing fumbles. It's crazy. And, Tannehill's sort of the hot name right now. He's doing well with what weapons he has down there. I know Mike Wallace is down there, and Lamar Miller's hurt now, but I think he tweaked something, and he's sort of day-to-day. But, they could be a good team. This was one of my bold predictions at the beginning of the year for the entire season, was that New England gets unseeded as an AFC East champion, and this was one of the teams that I thought could do it, and they very well could. They already have a win against New England to start the year. They got to go up there again soon, so it would not surprise me at all if Miami, marches their way into the playoffs as AFC Northeast champs.
If the Steelers have one more game like they have had, where they just put up monster numbers, like over 20-some points, and they look like the offensive powerhouse, then I mean, you could almost argue that the team that you saw at the beginning of the year wasn't the same team. So yeah, they have a win against New England, but did New England look nearly as good in the first 3-4 weeks as they do now?
Not at all. They look bad.
Yeah. People were questioning Tom Brady being traded or if he still got it, and then he just puts back-to-back, 4 touchdown, 300-yard games. I mean, I can't wait to see the rematch between New England and Miami and see if it's similar results.
The NFL season is just so goofy. It's just so people. It's so funny to think that people were calling for the Garoppolo era to begin.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
We were. I mean, at Pittsburgh, every day I'd watch the old Subway Last Call with Mark Madden and Shelby Oxenrider. They were calling for LeBeau to be fired. They were calling for Tomlin to be there was everybody was now LeBeau.
I'll stand by that.
Old Harrison, who almost became my MVP of last week with the sacks that he did. Only only one other player over 36 has ever registered a multiple sack game. Harrison looks like he did back in 2004, 2006. It's insane how energized he looks. Doing push-ups with Marquise Pouncey on him. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Too bad you don't get fantasy points for that, huh? But
Ridiculous. So, are there any other matchups you want to throw
Oh
out?
yeah, I have one, and let's just segue it. We'll gracefully transition into bold predictions. It'll start as a matchup and transition into a prediction.
Go for it.
Just so you watch.
Ooh.
All right, New York Giants at Seattle Seahawks. I predict
no.
the New York Giants will stroll on into Quest Field, silence the top man, and
Another team will do that this season, but it's not going to be the Giants.
Yes,
I think the Giants are bottom 3 in the league. I think they're worse than the Jaguars. I think they're worse than Oakland. I think the Giants are really, really
hear me
bad.
out.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. First of all, the prediction part is fairly tame. Odell Beckham Jr., 150 yards, 1 touchdown.
I'll take it.
I think that's a big game. All right. Now we get into the oddly specific stuff that explains why the Giants will go into Seattle and beat Seattle. And it's part of the Super Bowl hangover. It's part of just having the target on your back. Seattle is quietly dysfunctional. I think we can all agree on that. They don't really show up for home games anymore. And also, I have a weird suspicion Russell Wilson will get hurt and get knocked out of the game.
That's a weird suspicion. A weird suspicion there. He might have a terrible game.
No, I say he gets hit and gets knocked out of the game. They lose because of it.
Well, apparently you're not a Charlie Winehurst
odd.
fan.
So
Nothing bad.
that's a really bold prediction. He gets traded from Tennessee. After the trade deadline.
That is incredibly odd.
All right. Well, I thought we were being bold. I'm telling you, you heard it here first. Russell Wilson injured, knocked out of game. Giants pulled upset.
Bold prediction? I got bold prediction for you. Golden Tate, top 5. Yeah, sure. Top 5 wide receiver.
Are you sure?
For fantasy.
About this.
Yeah. Top 5 wide receiver in a
Nice.
dominant win by Detroit.
Well, Max, you better save room for Percy Harvin, who's going to be a top 5 wide receiver. Rob?
3 more.
I'm not going to start with the fantasy one, but I would like to go on record and say that if Brandon Weeden makes the start in London, I like the Jaguars to beat my Dallas over there because Dallas sucks. So I would love to see that, and I think anything can happen overseas in London, and I don't know. Part of me just wants some extra breathing room in the NFC East, but I really think can you really trust a team with Brandon Weeden at quarterback? I know people were talking about, it's Dallas. He got out of the Cleveland stink. He stunk it up last week. He's not a good quarterback. He really does not deserve to be a starting quarterback. It's terrible. So maybe I don't know.
See, you're falling into my Carolina argument though. Like, can you really trust a team with Mark Sanchez as its quarterback?
Yeah, but this is Brandon Weeden we're talking about. I think Weeden is on a different level than I know Sanchez has the butt fumble and whatever else you want to laugh at him for. But this can segue into the bold prediction. I think Bortles.
That's what we were doing.
I thought we were
already there.
I know we're already there. This can segue into my actual fantasy bold prediction is that Bortles outperforms. Maybe it's not. This isn't much of a bold prediction. Bortles outperforms Weeden.
Oh, boo. So bold.
Have you ever played this game before? Let's start this. Jacksonville over 6 sacks.
Okay, I raise you one. Michael Vick, his performance here. Ben Roethlisberger, performance here.
Michael Vick's gonna throw 9 touchdowns. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying Michael Vick outperforms Big Ben. Ching, ching, boom.
Frank Gore, top 5 running back this week.
Oh.
Got bold predictions, not wishing predictions.
All right.
Come on, Max, give us another one.
Another one?
Just gave us one.
One, that's all you get. That's all I have.
Predictions.
Mark,
Look at
here you go. Here you
multiple.
go. Mark Sanchez, for all the laughing we're doing about him, top 3 quarterback this week.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
Top 3 in the NFC East.
Top 3 in the league, Mark.
Right, that is bold. That's actually more bold than my Russell Wilson gets injured and knocked out of the game.
Mark Sanchez does not run into the ass of one of his linemen this week.
Ooh, no.
What if Mark Sanchez causes a butt fumble from the other end and bumps into LaShawn McCoy?
All right, this is getting wacky now. So do we have any other actual bold predictions or anything else for the good of the order?
I will. Here's one. I will start Bishop Sankey in 2 leagues this week and be bitterly disappointed.
Fair.
It's not a bold prediction, but it's something I wanted to bring up. Scour your waiver wires. For some reason, Reggie Bush was available in our league, and I know he's not very good, but
he's there.
He's there, exactly. Like, pick him up. He has potential to do, like, breakout games. I know he's been injured a lot this year, but start him as a flex or something like that, or if one of your other people goes down, it's just nice to have him. I don't think Reggie Bush should not be on at least somebody's bench in the league. So, just scour it.
Yeah, just to echo what Seth was saying, it depends on how savvy your league is and how people pick other people up between weeks. But I did not think that I was going to get Martavis Bryant, who had a monster game for Pittsburgh.
I went and looked for him.
I got
him. I went and looked for him this morning. I should have done it yesterday because I think I'm still like 11th on the claims list. So I think I would have had him, but I was sort of hoping our crowd our crowd in the fantasy league, no one's going to overlook that. So I thought it was a long shot, and it was. But he's still owned in not very many leagues. Let me get it real quick.
I should tell you right now, I'm on it.
41.3% of leagues. Obviously, it's jumped 30% in the last week, but still, that's 60% of leagues that you can pick him up in, and he's a big target, and obviously someone Ben has confidence in. So, look for him.
And one more thing, I don't know if we so just kind of changing subjects, but I don't know if we talked about injuries, but Giovanni Bernard is doubtful. Did we mention that or no? I don't think we did. He's doubtful. He's been downgraded to doubtful.
Well, if you've made
this is on a Wednesday. You'll probably be watching this Thursday night, and it'll be too late. Don't worry about it.
All right. Well, that's it for week 10.
Oh, wow.
Another week of fantasy football in the books. So
disgusting. Week 10 already? What?
Week 10. See you guys for week 11 next week. Ugh, keeps going up.